That, yeah. I mean, it's good to get these, your elders when you're that young. If you can just listen to them, Jesus, save you 30 years of your life with a phrase. Listen to your elders, people. Good morning, Marcus. All right, there we go. All right. We are live. All right, let me tell everybody else to come on in then. We are live across platforms. Good morning, everybody out there. Obviously, we're watching GME, but also watching these other penny stocks this morning. MITQ, 7 million float or less. ASNS, 2.6 million float or less. And Endira, 10 million float. This Endira's pattern doesn't look good. MITQ looks great. ASNS, neutral. So MITQ is probably our top pick this morning for the day trading shit. Turns out dad is right about everything. Yep, always. You're never better than your dad before you realize the truth of everything your dad says. You could become better after that, but you first must realize and synthesize all the truth in everything your father or mother has said, but mostly father, in order for you to ever think you are worthy of having your own opinion now, right? And that's just unfortunately most kids today um, have the governments supporting them to the point where they don't really even think they need parents. Now we have this parentless generation, whole generation. How did that even happen? Terrible. Where I live, it's very conservative. Probably 80% of the country goes to church, and you don't have any of that woke bullshit here. Zero. All right, well, let's see if we can get some people coming in this morning. And ASNS, MidQ, Nadira, HB. Oh, I want to take a look at CrowdStrike. We love to have positions in CrowdStrike, for which I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the last 6 months, 7 or 8 months, 5 positions. Randy, there you are. Last 6 months, 7 to 8 months. Allow recording. And so they reported earnings, and the earnings were good, which is which should cause a lot of people to be caught with their pants down, and it should go green and get bought up. And I think if it is going to be an above average ADR day and that it's mostly buying pressure, then we're going to break all-time high today or whatever it is, recent high, 365. However many days there are in a year, that's the price of the all-time high. We're at 338, almost 340. And then nearby recent pivot high is 358. We're at 338, 358. The average daily range on this is $13. So from here, 338, that would be 340, 50, 351 or 2, 352 when you really count it all, which is right here. But today is probably going to be a double ADR day because it's the R release. and we expect it to be green based on gap theory analysis. And so we're probably going to touch and break all-time high. So we're going to watch CrowdStrike today. And we're going to get an entry probably right off the fucking open. And okay, it hasn't been much higher, 345 in pre-market. So long as it performs off the open, 1 minute opening range breakout, that should be an entry. And if it bleeds out instead, what do we do? Carl, Justin, Marcus, Randy, what have you learned? We want entry out of the gate, and it's something we're predicting is going to be up, going up, but it goes down off the open. Instead of the 1 minute opening range breakout, what do? It's something I developed. It's my own strategy. Custom developed just for you guys. You guys have to carry on the legacy when I'm gone. No, edge. But that's good. I'm glad you're throwing it out there. There it is. Yeah, the 5 minute dip buy or end of day, even better. Randy did even better by saying another option as well, which is absolutely true, which is what I was going to say after that. Yeah, 5 minute dip buy. And if that doesn't really transpire correctly, then look at it end of day. And if it's good by end of day, go for it. Yeah. So that's three, right? Three ways to make sure you get entry on entry day. And that is to recap 1 minute opening range breakout, which can happen at any point. It can happen 17 minutes after the open because the 1 minute opening range breakout would be after that. But if it doesn't happen within minute 2, 3, 4, pretty much you're now falling back to the 5 minute dip buy strategy, which is roughly the same when you really encapsulate the 1 minute opening range strategy, opening range breakout strategy, except it could get you an even better price, a pulled back 5 minute dip buy type entry price. And then and then that usually gets you in, and then you have kind of like a 3 strikeouts plan whenever that happens. You go for it. We have some techniques to, if you're just going to day trade it, we have some techniques for you to scale out across about roughly usually lasts about 40 minutes of a rally in price movement. And then if that fails or you end up getting out, then you go for it again. And at that point, you got to give up, especially if it's broken down to new lows. A new low breakdown is not good. It's going to have to be followed by a fast reclaim. I was watching a video of mine from like 5 years ago. And the way I explain that is when you have a reversal signal, such as a breakdown, or it could be a very violent red bar, you need a green bar of equal or better aggression to cancel it out, or what I called re-reversal. Re-reversal the signal, to re-reverse the signal. Otherwise, from that red moment or breakdown, that reversal signal sticks. So, write that down. I mean, because this is all logic. How could the stock be doing good again? And why didn't I get back in? It broke down. That was supposed to be bad. Evan said that was bad. Well, if it has a strong reclaim, then that reverses the reversal. And that should give you an idea to potentially get back in on a signal, whatever signal that is. So that's sort of a midday, potentially something you could do. All right, let me mitigate a little bit out of MITQ. I have a position there, but it's not working out. MITQ, it was moving up. I was grabbing it, and now it's fading quite nice, poorly, badly, nicely. It's fading nicely. And so I'm gonna mitigate out of mid-Q a little bit, just a little bit. I'll probably rebuy if we start to reclaim. But okay, so we have about 14, 13 minutes before the market opens. I'm looking for day trading wise. ASNS, GME, of course, MITQ, and then this one, Indira. I mean, I don't think it has a chance in hell, just the way the price action has been completely negative after it moved. Well, I'll just keep it up in the corner there. Jimmy, and CrowdStrike. So CrowdStrike we'll be looking to get into for like PCS, put credit spread. But we're trying to get an entry on that, or shares, however you want to trade it. And so we'll check that out when that happens. CrowdStrike will be watching that. Now, also up this morning that's big is VIR and HPE. So let's take a quick look at those. VIR. Well, that's interesting. This is a pop over a pivot point, and that's over the 200. And for the first time to be over 200 in a while, almost a year. So VIR, that's very interesting, but it is a biotech and it is just a penny stockish day trade type of deal. Okay, it's not enough volume. See how thin these bars are and spaces in between everything? So just leave it alone. Sometimes these stocks go nutso, but don't have the volume. And you just got to live with that. It's like when some friend of yours marries like the hottest chick you've ever seen. And you're like, how come I couldn't get that chick? Well, it's just the way it goes. You just gotta be happy for that person. Eh, that's just not your chick. Let's see. HPE, Hewlett Packard. Okay. Wow. Jump over pivots. This is a breakaway gap. After moving down too, right before is this earnings? Yes, earnings base. All right. Hewlett HPE is another one we're really looking at. Getting into HPE, Hewlett Packard. And is that it? That looks like that's pretty much it. Semi-large one called S-Fix. That's probably Stitch Fix. Stitch Fix, yes. Boy, just dying an endless death. Look at that. That's dilution right there. When you get a parabolic sell-off. Dilution. So I'm not going to touch Stitch Fix. So that's it. So we're on top of the market this morning. The market's doing fine. Let's take a quick look at the market. All right, this is an excellent pattern here. We dip down into a moving average, a significant one. This one was a 20, and there's kind of a 50 nearby. I'm sure the S&P 500 has a similar situation going on. And then, this bottoming tail candle will get all bought up. This is in a rally, a right side VCP type tightening little dip buy, right side reclaim pattern. All it would take is for today to be green. And it doesn't even have to be a super rocketing day, just green, just a move green up, maybe above this level here. Or even to new all-time highs. It wouldn't take much. 457.60 is where we're at. All-time high is at 460.60. So that's 3 points up. And the average range on the Qs is 5.5. So it's well within the realm of reason. Well within we're only 60% of an average move per day to break new all-time highs today. So we're perched in a very nice spot. But hey, as I always say, anything can happen. Don't be an idiot. There's one born every minute. Let's see. Let me add a little bit to my position on GME right here. Very tiny amount. Let's get some average down here. I really wanted to see what that would bring my average down to. But all right. And regarding GME, I haven't been that deep in it, but I've been following it a little bit, the discussion about it and stuff on Twitter. There's all kinds of obviously jealous people, what is the word? Incredulous, thinking that incredulously about Roaring Kitty's claim that he's making, fortune on this. And yet, because he posted his position. So he does have a position with June 21 expiring options at the 20 strike, 100,000 of them. And there's all kinds of people thinking that the jealous people who probably even are short traders, some of them, and have short positions in GME probably, saying that he should be shut down. And E-Trade has said that they're going to look into potentially banning his account on E-Trade. And so everybody make sure that you close your E-Trade accounts, get the fuck off there. They're not on our side. They're not on your side. Get out of there. Because disclosing your position is about the most transparent thing you could do. You're not even required to do that as a retail trader. So they're trying to say that Roaring Kitty is causing manipulation of the stock by disclosing his position. Well, welcome to the Wall Street, motherfuckers. That's exactly how it goes on with the hedge funds and the institutionals. And it's basically just gigantic pump and dumps. Yeah, the companies have value, but the movements don't match the value. The movements match the hype or the lack of hype. And so, hey, whatever hype is generated that's par for the course. If you want to talk about a stock and you want to show transparently that you have a position in it, there's nothing the fuck wrong with that. So if E-Trade, just the fact that E-Trade is saying they would ban him for the evidence that we've seen, which is him posting his position, tells me that nobody should be with E-Trade. Fuck E-Trade in the ass. If you have an account at E-Trade, close it, withdraw the money. Do not be over there. That is rude, disrespectful. Uh, what's the word? Not responsible of them. I mean, like Interactive Brokers would never do that. Interactive Brokers doesn't take sides. They just have the money. E-Trade saying that probably because they don't have the money, because they're vulnerable, not because they're trying to help help anybody but their own ass. So obviously E-Trade exposed their vulnerability. You should not be with E-Trade. Fuck them. Close your accounts, move your money to somewhere good. At the moment, IBKR is always and always has been the most honorable operation on the planet. They also offer the most products. You can trade foreign markets, you can, Asian stock exchanges and everything you want, any ticker on the planet over at IBKR. So, but yeah, it's a similar thing to like what happened with Robinhood and them shutting and they're also trying to figure out all kinds of ways to stop GME from trading. There's been all kinds of, just in the last week, all kinds of glitches, all kinds on GME, moments. There's been moments. There's been, pulling the plugs here and there, and it's just typical. So you need to be somewhere solid where you're not going to get jerked around. So make sure you are. And I've never had any problems with TradeStation. With TD Ameritrade, I've had some problems, and they're now Schwab, but not too bad. Not too bad. They're better. But there are other good places. And then there's Webull. I don't think Webull's ever. They might have put some GME restrictions on back in the day. Excuse me. Anyway, so the GME a shitstorm is happening, and GME is reporting earnings in a couple of days or weeks. Let me see. They're reporting earnings on April 24. No, sorry. Uh, June 11th. Today is the 5th. So 6 days from now. Today's Wednesday, so that'd be Tuesday then? Yeah. Tuesday evening of next week. Tuesday evening of next week, GME will be reporting their earnings. Roaring Kitty has his position until the 21st, which is 100,000 calls at $20. I don't know if what his play there is. If he's going to liquidate that beforehand, or if he's going to exercise them. Uh, if he exercises those options, 100,000 becomes 10,000 shares. If I'm doing the math right, 10 million. I mean, 100,000. Yeah, 10 million shares, and he has roughly a $260 million position right now. He's up, or his positions, his shares, and his options are valued together at $260 million. So you can see why E-Trade is a little bit concerned, because if he ends up exercising 10 million shares at $20, that's $200 million of stock that E-Trade has to deliver to him from somebody, from somewhere. Uh, that's a possibility. And but my point is, if you can't do it to begin with, then don't promise it to begin with. So, E-Trade does not have up and up practices, let's say. Take something like this for you to see that transparently and clearly. All right, there's a beautiful kind of upward pattern going on the market right now in the intraday charts, where they got this consolidation base, and then push, and then pull back, and then push, and then slight pullback, and it's really, really tightening. But that can be kind of like a waterfall um, wedge pattern. Uh, so we might sell off at the open. This kind of pattern, well, it's just in pre-market. So, once the market opens, a whole new dynamic can be created. But pre-market, the pattern suggests possibly a sell-off at the open. However, like I said, that's fine, and that it's quite easy for the market, even after a sell-off, for it to move up and over into new highs. So we're in a really great spot today on the market. Wolf, well, we got 10 seconds for the market open, so we'll take a look at that later. When did you post that? Yeah, I don't have enough time to look at that. All right. So we're looking to get into CrowdStrike, 1 minute opening range breakout. And watching MITQ and ASNS day trade wise, and GME, if anything's going to go on there, and Hewlett Packard, HPE. All right, CrowdStrike is selling off at the open. So we're probably going to be going with a 5-minute dip buy strategy over there, or 1 minute opening range breakout still works, even when it's red. Okay, CrowdStrike bleeding. Hewlett Packard bleeding. ASNS bleeding. GME perking, but not that big of a deal. The market red off of the open. It's opening elevated, so that's completely expected. Island gap up and then red. Let's just keep watching that. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. I do probably now have a moment of time where I can check out Wolf, but you know what? Let me just monitor these two stocks I'm day trading, ASNS and MITQ, and then also check on existing positions, make sure everything's okay over there. Why am I not getting totals today? That's strange. Something weird's going on. Wow, what's going on with ASML? Ooh, nice pop up on ASML. I'll be taking out some of that right now. Oh, you can't take that back, ASML. I saw you. Gonna give me 50 cents. Clack also up. KLAC, very nice. Looks like all the market opening elevated, but now selling off has caused a lot of positions to be at take profit points. Very nice. Let me take a look at my day trades here, though, and it does could be going south on me without me knowing it. Yeah, in fact, this one I'd like to just close out mid-Q. It's not ready yet. I was in pre-market, and I'm going to do the same with ASNS. I will reapproach it when it starts to base. ASNS might be in a halt. Yeah, it is. ASNS is halted, so cancel that, and we'll see what happens when it comes out of the halt. GME sideways, and now what's CrowdStrike doing? Do we have an entry yet? No, no entry on the 5-minute or the 1-minute opening range breakout technique, and neither for Hewlett Packard. Indira, the one that I thought wouldn't do jack shit, is the one that's really flying. NDRA. But I'm going to focus on my positions right now, being up, and try and get some TPs, some take profits, if I can get them. NVO. 70% max gains. There, NVO. And if you can see here on my meters, remember these are like my meters. We have about like 50%, maybe 52% green off of the open. Bros is doing really good. Look at this NVO, guys. We got into this 2 or 3 weeks ago, right here at 132.80. Today it's 141.70. 141.7 divided by 132.80 is 6.7% move to the upside, right? 6.7% move to the upside, and yet I'm up 72% max profit. So let's figure that out. So it's a 6.7% move to the upside, and I'm getting 16.8%, 17% return. I mean, it just continues to prove itself better than shares trading. Put credit spreads. I used to think spreads minimized, muted year returns. It's quite the opposite. You get double or more, sometimes triple in this case, the return. All right, NVO. Yeah, so as soon as I can get closed on, I'm having a bit of an aggressive sell order on that. Yeah, but it looks like it's going to get closed pretty soon here. Great. And yeah, it appears that you guys using Thinkorswim, do you see if your PL day column total is saying NA? Mine's saying NA. It's not working. Why not? Everything adds up in it. I do have one NA. I think I see what may have happened. One bond is throwing it off. Okay, which bond is that? It is US Treasuries, 2053. All right, well, hope everything's okay with that. Yeah, my value is still in there, so all right. Now, I guess that's probably just me. All right, in the meantime, let's go back to looking at our opportunities. Okay, mid-Qs. Oh, there goes GME's got a nice move from 26.2 to 27. So, it's a little bit strong. Yeah, NVO, outstanding move. You know, I wonder maybe towards the end of the day or at some point if it turns red, because this is quite extended. Um, every time it's, gone on like a huge extension like that with gap even, it then pulled back. So this NVO, you should be number one, you should be make sure you're taking profits on it, which I think is about to happen for me. And then maybe get a call credit spread. I'm going to quickly take a look and see if that'll be profitable. NVO call credit spread. In other words, we short a top. We short a theoretical guessed top. PCSs and CCSs are great for guessing tops and bottoms. I've been experimenting with this. And because PCSs and CCSs are forgiving, because their break evens move your cost basis each day in your favor, and the technique of getting 45 DTE and then holding for several weeks gives you a lot of opportunity to be wrong. And when you're guessing a top or you're guessing a bottom, you don't have to be that right, because the bottom of any significant move, if there's a significant move, you could just guess that's the top, or you could just guess that's the bottom, so long as it's a significant move, be wrong. And guess what? The next day is probably not going to be a significant move. You just don't get significant moves followed by significant moves. Significant move, I mean, it happens though, but even then, you'll be saved by a credit spread. But significant moves are usually followed by less significant moves, and then compaction, and then backfilling. Quickly looking at CrowdStrike, actually signaled but then broke down. So that's piece of shit movement. That's manipulative bad movement that we don't like. It broke the 1 minute opening range momentarily and then just ripped to the other side like a grab of liquidity. That's full on manipulation there on CrowdStrike. Be careful. It's turning into Boeing, everyone, right before our very eyes. Hewlett Packard, however, coming up to a 5 minute perhaps dip by entry. Let's take a look. No, but this is the 5 minute over here on HPE. But pretty soon, if we can get over $20, exactly $20, um, within the next 5 minutes by 8:45, then that would be an entry if it gets over $20. HPE. We'll still have to get to Wolf in a minute. Okay, MITQ is reclaiming. I'm gonna possibly trade that. Let me see. MITQ, MITQ, MITQ. Okay. Very nice reclaim. Oh man. When it doesn't have logic control. Damn. It halted. I think I probably had a moment to be able to get in, and then I got screwed over by Thinkorswim's bad logic. That's the way it is. That's the way the engine is. Look at GME is now at 27.5. So this is the day that I expected GME to make its move. Wednesday. I've been planning it since pre-market on Monday to accumulate Monday and Tuesday for a move on Wednesday. And that's what's potentially going to happen here. All right, back to NVO. Can I not get my fill at 22 cents? Why not? It almost did fill a minute ago. All right, where am I at on NVO? All right, so if I can get 24 cents, I'll still be happy. Let's try for that. That there for a few minutes. All right, next we need to look at a lot of things that I'm holding for a sec. Root doing well, coming back into my iron condor. It hasn't been in it since I opened it. It's crazy when that happens. Not that crazy. It happens. And when you're in shares, that doesn't feel good. But when you've got a descending break-even line, much better. And all I really need this to do is just kind of come in to the mouth of that iron condor for it to return to full value and be profitable. VRT is transversing the profit zone of my iron condor. It's looking very good. It's at 45% and increasing. Square. I've got a butterfly set up on Square. This is something I'll have to teach you guys on how to manage iron condors. But when iron condors don't work out, you have the option of closing them or turning them into iron butterflies. And I'll teach you guys eventually. Probably that'll be a class specifically geared to people who wish to learn all the spread trading techniques, and I can talk about the technique of converting to an iron butterfly and why you would do that. Because basically it makes no difference, but it keeps the trade open, and then you have the potential of getting back your money, which is good, but not losing anymore, and or even making twice as much as you had originally intended to make. It's a bit of a long shot. It's like making a hole in one in golf, but it costs exactly the same and is no further loss as just closing the position. So converting to iron butterfly is very cool. Way to manage a trade that goes against you and you need to close it out. Netflix. All right, Netflix is coming into the profit zone, and I'm at 39% max profit. Micron inside the profit zone at 41% max profit. Microsoft well within the profit zone at 53% max profit. PDD must be outside. Yep, PDD currently outside of my profit zone. I have a crisscrossed put credit spread and call credit spread that creates an iron condor. And eventually it's going to get inside of that profit zone. It will be nice. Apple just hanging out just outside of the top side of my call credit spread. It just needs to zag one time in here and it will be looking good. Okay, so those are all my iron condors. And then ASML, that just popped way up there. And Clack, a lot of things have a very good day today on this market move over the extended hours. Indigada Davata. Indigada Davida. Indigada Davida. How, what made you say that, Randy? What did I say? First of all, and then second of all, how did you know I even know that song? I mean, a lot of people know it, but also a lot of people don't know it. And oh, Iron Butterfly. That's why I was like, why did you say that? Yeah, but I was doing the music score for this one movie called Night of the Templar, and it's not night Knight, it's night Night. One night in a modern castle of a resurrected, betrayed, the last of the Templar knights comes back, 1,000 years later during our modern times to exact revenge on the reincarnated souls of everyone who wronged him. Invites them all out to this castle, and it's a great movie. You should check it out. Night of the Templar with Norman Reedus and a couple other people. Really good. And I did a great score on that. But I also helped select songs for the film. And we almost used that song. God damn, it probably would have been the right song. In the Garden of Eden is what supposedly people think they were trying to say, is probably what they were saying. But it comes out in the Garden of Eden, baby. Oh God, yeah. Carl says, play 15 seconds of that goddamn song. It's fucking greatness. Yeah. What's it under? Did they list it as Indagata Davita? I mean, how do you even find it? Hey, there it is. Inagata Davita. Okay, here we go. I don't know if you can hear it though. Can you guys hear that? No, so you can't even hear it because it's filtering it out. It's not voice. You guys all can independently listen to that if you'd like. That's great. Yeah. So anyway, there was this one scene, a murdering scene, and that song going with it, fucking awesome. We got the rights and everything, but we just eventually selected a different song. Hello, Derek. Welcome in. Okay, looking at crowd, we still don't have an entry. Okay. So did you guys get HPE? HPE was an entry while we were talking. I told you if it gets over $20, that's an entry on HPE. Let's take a look and see if the options line up. 44 days to expiration on the July 19. The 20 delta doesn't exist. It's a little skippy on the options. But let's say we got the 16. What would it pay? 12 out of 92, which is 13. So it underpays the delta. Anytime you're getting less than the delta, that is a sign, don't do it. Not good. Meta, I'm at 50% on Meta. Oh, what did I want to do with some of these other stocks? Okay. MITQ has popped over 1.4 and is now pulled back and it's halted to the downside. So now I'm glad I didn't get in. AN, ASNS. I need to get out of that. It's halting to the downside. I guess I'll just go for a flatten on that. GME has hit 28.5, is pulled back to about 27.7. GME. Okay, now over to, I wanted to check out Meta. Yeah, very nice leap up here on Meta. Puts me at 50% ROC, 50% max profit. So 12.5% return on capital. I got in at 473 3 weeks ago. It's now at 490. Okay, 490 divided by 473 is 3.6% higher, right? It's made a 3.6% move. But I am at 50% max profit on a 25% return on capital. So in other words, I'm up 12.5% return on capital on that trade. It's only up 3.6% on the stock. I'm up 12.5% roughly. So 1.125 divided by all that means, hang on, divided by 1 plus all that. And I put that in parentheses. No, wait, so why am I doing the math wrong on that? I have to subtract one from both and then divide. Means I'm getting 3.5 times the return than shares on Meta with the put credit spread. Put credit spread's more profitable, more favorable when it moves against you. You just don't get to vote on stock. You don't get to vote. Who cares? All right, Hewlett Packard, that's an entry, but we looked at it, I believe, and it did not have favorable option pricing. Is that the one we looked at? I don't know. I think so. Let's see. Yeah, that was the one we looked at. So nothing's going to happen for us on Hewlett Packard. Just forget about it unless you're a shares trader. Um, that could be a 5-minute dip buy entry signal on Hewlett Packard for shares traders, but the put credit spread says don't get in it. All right, we're pulling back a little bit harder on the S&P 500 at this elevated island top move, gap open to the upside. So make sure you're scaling out your profits off of this move if you have them wherever they are. Basically, what I got to focus on right now. Spotify, I need to take some out of that. Spotify moving up nicely. I think I have, yep, just one more option left. If I can get a kind of aggressive exit. If I can't, I'll be getting out of that a little bit. Meta NVO. Did I not order in? Yeah, there it is. Meta ASML. Robinhood. GME is the top of our list this morning of extraordinary stocks making extraordinary moves. This is our growth list. And yet it's just doing this. Whoop. So much potential. What else we got there? GME, MMYT. Yeah, this is a nice move on MMYT. This would be an entry signal or put credit spread. And we definitely have the runway. The only problem is probably it's not very liquid. We tried to draw it up before. 20 Delta only has 13 open interest, 13 and no volume at all. And yet the bid ask spread is 25%. It's not, it's not god awful. You would get 82 cents out of this 19 Delta, 82 cents out of or 18 would be 19.6. So it actually pays. It does not have great liquidity. So getting out is the issue there. Issue. 719 is right there. Let me draw this out. What would it be like? The 70 minus 82 break even would be 719. 8 there. I was playing scenarios in my head of how price could move. And yeah, can't do it because even if I wanted to get out at a profit, uh, that could be the rub. I might not. You can get in. It's like the Hotel California, but you can never get out. So that's MMYT doing great. I mean, you could get in for shares at 79 here, but like Meta moved up 3.5% in 3 weeks and put you through hell. It dropped, but my put credit spread remained break even or profitable the whole time, whereas shares would have been down as much as 454. 473. You could have been down almost 4%. You'd been down more than you're even up right now on shares. So shares kind of suck. MMYT, but it is kind of a shares like entry. You put your stop at the 50 moving average here, 72.50, the bottom of this pivot, 72.50 and 70.90, 78.90 entry, $7.30 of risk. So, to get 2 for 1, you'd want like $15 move, which is like 95, which is way up here. It could do it. It's a 5.5% ADR, but it doesn't seem good. It would be great on a put credit spread. All right, Bros is up. Dutch Brothers. But nah, see that back and forth chop is not too good the way that has spelled itself out over time. Oh, we're getting an upward move on the growth stocks on the Qs. The Qs have just made a new high on the day. And what were we saying would be a new high on the year? Let's go take a look. High on the years nearby would be 460.58. What were we talking about? 465? Was that ground strike? I think so. Interesting that it's bleeding out off of the open. That is kind of incorrect. Makes me feel like it's manipulation. It's not correct based on the gap theory. Doesn't make sense. Manipulation. Hopefully it's going to turn around in the next few days and break and fly. So let's keep an eye on CrowdStrike, okay, everybody? What were you wanting me to look at again? Oh shit! Did I just take that loss on ASNS? No, okay. Oh, okay, good. It's just the bid-ask spreads can fluctuate a lot on these options sometimes. Okay, I'm all out on ASNS. Made a terrible halted move to the downside. I did just fine as far as mitigating risks on that. Perfectly fine. And MITQ is just chopping from the open, but GME is holding pretty strong in the 28s. It's at 28 right now. Short sale restriction is on GME. So that means it will not easily be able to be shortable or manipulatable to the downside. So today is a likely to be just all day green day on GME. Whether or not that what's the word catalyzes a move of any significance, that'll remain to be seen. But I did accumulate a position, and that's what I wanted to do. Today, and we'll see what happens and what transpires. All right, everybody, let's move back into the group. Was that one thing you wanted me to check on real quick, Randy? The fuck was that? That was Wolf. Okay. I mean, maybe for a put credit spread, or even an Iron Condor, because I mean that thing just has not gone anywhere. The only thing is it's very in the pennyish range, and the options liquidity is probably not good at a 10% ADR, so it's a very wild stock. If you have 50 positions, yeah, I could understand looking for something, but if you only have 10 or 20 and those are your sizes, I would pick something else. Let's see, Wolf has done 8,500 volume today in options, and on the 19th of July options, none have transpired today, but it does have like 100 open interest, and you can't even really find a good 20 delta. That's 26 delta at $2. So it's a many things, not really looking good on Wolf. Trying to see the patterns, particularly. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting pattern. I haven't seen that for a while. It's wedging, but the thing is, it's not an uptrend. We like to get into things that are just going up and up and up and up. What's Spotify doing? See, like look at Spotify. Can you find those? You see the difference? It's going up and up and up and up and up. And then we go over to Wolf, sideways. Okay, good. Yeah, no worries. You're doing probably pretty good. And then Microsoft, which we got in recently, also I think looks, up and up and up and up. This is why I like and prefer those. All right, everybody. I'll see you back in the group. Continue to keep me posted on those tickers. I'll continue to keep you posted on some as well. And have a good morning. And trade safe, trade smarter. Trade safer, trade smarter.